Welcome to another Motortown post-event race commentary. It's been another TWL event, and yeah, this time around focus around the Neo, which has been in the game for a while now, but we never really did a racing event with it, which was quite the shame. And when somebody else was wondering about what kind of event should be hosted next, I brought up that very fact, and here we are. Yeah, didn't mean that I had to organize anything. I just let others do it this time around. Leighton was the one organizing the event and hosting it, so shout out to them. Really happy that I could just lean back and yeah, I was actually focusing on the Stellar event at the time, which by this point in time is of course already done with. Today is gonna be actually 5 races, or more like 4.5. This is gonna be the half one. First up, I forgot to start the recording before the start of the race, so we are like one checkpoint in. And yeah, the host also forgot to set the laps, so this is why it's more like half a race. Anyways, let's get into it. I was considering to maybe not show this at all, but it turned out to be quite the fun one. And one of the few ones where I actually had a very good position in the end. Also a nice little incident at the beginning. So I decided to just show it anyways, and yeah. Here we are. This is of course Quarry Quarrel, one of my tracks, and yeah, I bought my rally modified Neo for this one. I didn't really need all the off-road suspension stuff. The higher ride height isn't really important here, but the rally tires are. Also, both of my Neo versions usually run the 320 horsepower V8, but for this event we need the one that's a bit smaller, so that's the 240 horsepower engine. And I didn't really adjust my final drive ratio or anything, so yeah, it's gonna be a bit sluggish in the higher regions. Also, I'm running a 6-speed transmission, and we are barely ever gonna make it into 4th or 5th gear even. So yeah, it's not really ideal. And yeah, right now, Chess being in front, Speccarino right behind, and yeah, me in third right behind Speccarino. We are trying to fight for second place. I of course have a bit of advantage here with this being my track, especially when it comes to stuff like this. Yeah, that corner is a bit tricky and doesn't really show where you need to go, you need to know it. But yeah, I'm now in not really the safest second place, but it's going pretty well, and yeah, I'm somewhat keeping up with Chess. But yeah, this is gonna be about 1 lap, slightly less even, because we're not gonna get the finish checkpoint. And after the race, there was a bit of time to refuel and repair or whatever needed to be done, and then regroup for the actual race. But this is a nice little warm-up, and with how it went, I decided that I want to show it anyways. Especially for the little incident in the beginning. Shows that even if you have an area without any traffic or police, you're not gonna be safe. But yeah, this thing is going pretty well. And yeah, of course, this car is using the off-road tires, which is really recommendable over here. I heard after the race that some people apparently were using road tires, and I mean, there was a fun race after an event quite recently on the same track where I was using my road geared version of the same car here, and it just didn't go too well. So this is a huge difference. This really feels amazing to drive. Still somebody behind me. Ghosty, it seems, according to the list on the left. But yeah, I'm just gonna go hard on the corners because I just feel how good the car is handling everything and that it's doing what I wanted to. So no real surprises, it's just working pretty much flawlessly. But yeah, this is already the end of the first race because once again no laps were set, so the game was treating this as kind of like a like a point-to-point race. So the actual finish checkpoint is ghosted out because that will be the start of the second lap, and we are gonna go over and gonna be restarting soon. And as you can see, daylight now. It's not gonna be just a rerun of what we just witnessed, quite sadly, otherwise I would have likely not even shown you guys that, but that one lap went so well that I had high hopes for this one. Just gonna get the last person back into their car, and we should be about to start here. Getting some dust from the front, and also the rain has started. And that's really been the nasty surprise here, because this is gonna be quite the detriment. Wasn't expecting this. I was now really focused on how the car handles when dry, and yeah, this is gonna be a bit of a problem. I managed to dodge the first few incidents here, and I'm back up in third position. This time around behind Leighton and Ghosty. But there are some other people right behind me already. Also, Ellie is sadly having some trouble with the checkpoint for some reason. So they apparently cannot get them for some reason, and yeah, that's kinda bad. Can't really do much of a race without them. But yeah, I'm trying to just keep up the pace. But I think this corner is already gonna be a bit of a problem, because yeah, from the little half a race that we had before, the little warm-up, I had higher hopes in terms of how the car would grip in the corner. Also, I'm missing the checkpoint here. Don't know how Raging got it, but yeah, I actually had to back up and get the checkpoint that way. Not the most amazing way of handling it, but yeah, I don't know what else I could have done at that point. But I'm gonna try and get back to the top. This might as well make for a better race like this, just seeing how it goes, instead of being on the top already. And honestly, let's roll it back a little bit. That guy, oh no, it is already behind me here. Seeing that car coming up, I really thought there would be a collision there. Can't see it right now, can't see it here, and maybe I was already going back a bit, or if it was this little bump. Yeah, by the time I see him coming, I'm just trying to avoid, and thankfully it worked out. I didn't really expect to be getting past them. But yeah, we are currently very much in the midfield. Also, the interesting part about this event is that it's actually quite mixed when it comes to the surface. The first one, of course, being a full-on dirt race in the quarry. Second race is more of a rallycross with a lot of tarmac and also off-road sections. And the third one is a pure asphalt race. So yeah, the third one is gonna be happening in my other car, because that's road tuned. Let's focus on the action here. I'm behind Becky and Anders, and I'm trying to take the corner very tightly again, and now just pushing my way up the inside there. I'm not gonna let them push me off the cliff, but yeah, it didn't really work out too well. But hey, at least I didn't roll over or something. Speccarino right in front of me again. Was more through one of the slightly more tricky corners. I don't usually want to go too much on the inside, because that's actually quite uneven and you can run into some trouble. But if you can get it right, you can also set yourself up for that turn after. Again, coming up to the end of the lap. Really going deep here. And now on to the Serpentines. Got a position in the first one. Trying to defend through the second one, but got pushed wide. And I think I'm not taking this one too well. Yeah, I'm going way too far to the outside, leaving the inside open for overtakes. But apparently nobody was able to take advantage of that, so here we are. In 8th place now. On to the second lap, and yeah, this is where I hit a rather nasty bump and do a few flips, but thankfully finally land back on the wheels. So we are now down to 10th position. Always gonna wait for the list on the left to update. And honestly, having done these races, I gotta say somewhere with the list on the left, the text at the bottom, I feel like the screen for racing, it's a bit cluttered. I feel like it's kind of distracting. Wish I could maybe do something about it to get more visual clarity back. I know there's the whole UI scale thing, and I might actually have to try it out, scaling down a few things here, but I think that might also make the text chat potentially unreadable. I'll have to figure this whole thing out. I've also recently reduced my moonlight brightness, or more like put it back up to what it was. I reduced the darkness because that was kind of annoying at night if you were racing and can't see anything. But yeah, right now pretty much set in 10th position. Person behind me is slowly catching up, it seems. But that's a bit of give and take. Sometimes I get a few corners right and I get a bit further ahead, but yeah, I think we are in a pretty good position here to at least keep this place. Not under active attack, but I'm also not really catching up to the guy in front in order to challenge them for position. Although I think there are still going to be a few things happening here. First up, if I remember correctly, Anders up in front there, 200 meters ahead. Slowly, or suddenly slowing down quite a lot. I think they may have not refueled after the last race. Should have been alright, but may have started with not the full fuel tank already, and yeah. I think there's the roadside recovery refueling that they could use in order to stay in the race, but well, if you start slowing down like that before you get to that point in the menus, if you even have that in mind at that point, gonna take a few seconds and gonna cost you a few positions there. And I gotta say, it's really fun with this race, just throwing the car into the corner and having it grip and yeah, drift through it in a wide turn. I don't know what happened there. I noticed the guy behind me and also just them honking. And I have no idea. I think they may have gotten me on their screen, and yeah, that may have spun them out. Not really much that I could do about it. And yeah, here we go, just back up the Serpentines for the last few corners and then back onto the start-finish straight. And just like that, that's the first official race being finished. 9th position. Not really amazing, but in the end it was a fun race, and yeah, really enjoyed the car here, really enjoyed the competition, so this was a pretty good one. Nothing else gonna be happening here anymore, so let's go on to the next one. This is Geppa Gallop, my own version. I don't think I've really shown you guys that one. It's basically just a redone checkpoint placement of the original layout. And is this the one that's gonna take a while? I think the third race is gonna be a bit longer in the run-up. I just try to start the recording when I think we are about to go, but it's not always accurate. So yeah, also constant chat bugging, so I'm trying to keep up with what has been said. But yeah, the race has started, the countdown is going, and here we actually go. And yeah, I just put myself onto pole position for the beginning. Don't know where that whole lag thing came from, but that already cost me 2 positions. So that's fun. Also a reminder when it comes to Geppa, that ground over here is really bumpy and the Neo doesn't like it at all. I tried optimizing my setup. I came up with something limited slip differential in order to make this go a bit better. But there's some real weird snap oversteering issues here, especially when braking or in some corners it just completely spins out on you. And from what I've seen, other people had similar issues, so this isn't just on me. This is definitely a problem with the car in combination with the ground here. And yeah, this is our mixed surface track, so we are going onto the regular road now. But I decided to go with my full off-roading rally car style tune-up here. While you can definitely make a bit of time back if you use road tires for this one, the off-road is what's going to kill you. It's not just about the time there, but about potential damage and that kind of thing. You can still make decent time on the road, but yeah, the off-road is just really gonna screw you over if you're not prepared for that in particular. But yeah, somehow I managed to get through the first few corners and everything without a hitch, and yeah, I'm now very far ahead. For once. I think when I got onto the on-road part, the police that was right behind me may have screwed up some other people who were just going through the corner, so that may have been a bit of an issue. Also in the chat you can see that Leighton decided to DNF about a minute ago, so that may have had something to do with it. Sometimes when you run into these issues, there's just very little that you can do, and yeah. I never liked DNFing myself, but sometimes it's just... there's really not much else that you can do apart from running on the track with a completely broken car and like half a lap behind everybody else. It's really not that fun. But yeah, we come back to the Geppa section, back to the start-finish for the second of 3 laps over here. So far it's working out pretty well, but I'm constantly fighting the car on this surface, and so is everybody else. I think there are going to be a few surprise spins here, especially these slight adjustments. They just don't really want to come together, and once you get on the brake, if your car is slightly off, not going completely straight, it's just gonna try and spin the back around on you. The Neo is just a very front-heavy vehicle to begin with, and I think it also has very high front braking bias. And yeah, this is just me completely spinning out here. Also, rain has started once again, so yeah, this is making the entire track a complete nightmare. Chess catching up behind me, everybody else seemingly a bit further behind, and also people fighting for positions. So that's usually slowing them down, and I'm just trying to keep it together here. Not really doing a great job, and yeah, spinning out in this way, completely facing the wrong direction, not helping either. So Chase got up in first position. And yeah, there's barely any grip to speak of. Seems like there's almost more grip on the grass than on the road in the rain with off-road tires. I don't know if that's really logical. I mean, of course you expect a bit of a grip boost when you go off-road with these tires, but it shouldn't ever exceed what you can get on the road itself, I think. I don't know. It might also depend on what tire exactly. There are a few that are basically having a shovel profile, and at that point I guess you wouldn't have that much grip on the road anymore. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep up, and we are going back towards Kepa now. People behind us still a few ways away, but I think they're catching up. Also, weird little twitch by Chess over there. That looked very menacingly. Also, we both have a bit of an issue with our braking here. Like completely going off-road. And I'm trying to rejoin without cutting off Raging, who was behind me, but, well, they also, of course, had a bit of an issue. With braking for the turn, I was expecting him to be a bit quicker there. But yeah, in the end, I'm falling back into third position. And yeah, this isn't going to help it. This is one of the surprise spin outs here. Like, absolutely uncalled for. At least the rain has ended. So now we're gonna see if we can at least defend the third position. I mean, if the people in front are having problems, then I might even get up into second place again. But right now, yeah, I'm just trying to keep it together and keep it at least in third. Also, once again, surprise spin out, and I just tried to make it through the bend somehow. And yeah, traffic didn't help things. But yeah, in the end, if we are always trying to take care of traffic, then we are not gonna really be racing. You gotta commit to a corner sometimes. But yeah, Shotgun is closing in on me. And this time around I would actually like to take this corner in a proper manner. I guess this counts. I hope it counts. It counts in my book, that has to count. But yeah, first two people are just completely running away from me at this point. So it's more about bringing it home than anything else. It's the last lap anyways, so we should be good. But yeah, everybody else apart from Shotgun seems to be very far away. So no real danger of losing a place, or at least not losing more than one. My place is definitely under jeopardy right now. And I made it through that turn pretty well. I think better than Shotgun, so yeah, I think I'm kinda getting a bit of distance between us. Braking zone for the next one is gonna be crucial. And I'm gonna try and play it a bit safer. Kinda just swinging it into the bend and hoping that the tires will grip and carry me through, which thankfully they did this time around. And yeah, for some reason I ended up going completely wide here, like I'm trying to get away from the cliff face, but it really didn't work out too well. At least I managed to keep a position. Just slightly drifting through the last bend and carrying it home before getting overtaken, so thankfully this worked out, but yeah, this was a tight one. Although apparently Shotgun likely ran into the bus or whatever was standing around there, so it didn't look that tight in the end. But yeah, that could have gone either way at that point. If I had the bus as well, then I would have had quite a bit of trouble. And yeah, the last official race here, this is a bit of a troublesome one, for especially when it comes to the start. So I don't know what happened to that ghost there. Didn't really wreck me, but after I got back into position, it decided to fall over. And yeah, I think we are going to call out to get started, and then somebody's gonna need a refuel after all. So let's just skip ahead a little bit and let's see. We should have a countdown in a moment. Not quite yet. God, this took so long. I think at this point I was actually considering to cut the recording and start anew, but yeah, then we finally got going. And yeah, this is another one of those tighter road race tracks, and I'm of course right now using my other Neo, which is tuned for this kind of thing. Maybe not the bumpy, curvy stuff on the right there, but overall, yeah, this is with road tires, road suspension. Somebody just went into the ocean apparently, but yeah, that's not what I'm tuned for, so I'm not gonna be following them. Another ghost gets just run over, and yeah, we're just making our way around the industrial district here on this very tight and twisty road over here. I really hope that at some point they may go back and change some of the curves, because those things are nasty. I mean, we are not supposed to really go on them, but when you have a race like this, what do you expect to happen? I definitely feel a bit exaggerated. And yeah, I could have gotten through this a bit quicker, but yeah, Becky was in the way. I may have also then missed that turn there, but yeah, thankfully Becky helped me around the turn there a bit. Yeah, this is one of those races with default checkpoint placements without any changes to them. So gotta be a bit more careful when it comes to the route. But yeah, that's one lap done. I think this is another 3-lap race. I'm up in 4th position, so this is going pretty well. Getting overtaken here, but then cutting back on the inside. The old switcheroo, as they call it. But yeah, Psychic Evil is just gonna keep on pushing and is gonna get away with a position. And yeah, there's a very nasty curb on the inside at the end of the sidewalk there, so completely ran over that bit, and yeah, it cost me quite a few positions. Falling down into 7th. But there is potential to make some places back. Just like this, overtook 2 people. So back in 6th. And coming back around on the ring road again. This would have been the most terrifying part of the race due to the flower banks on the side, but since they have been changed, this is actually pretty nice now. And another attempt at this very tricky turn, but this time around, since they placed the checkpoints how they did, I decided to go for the shortcut. Because at the end, track limits are not really enforced by the road, they are enforced by the obstacles and the checkpoints. So if I leave it open, I might as well. But yeah, last lap. In 5th position, so 1 position down from the last one. But very much in reach if I didn't do stuff like this one. Again, gotta be really careful with the curbs. It's very tempting using them as a track extension, but I think the one in Gangyang at the Rivera are actually quite a bit more forgiving than these. Or it might be the car. This is definitely not feeling that nice to drive on. So gotta be more careful. I might actually boot up the game again after the recording and see how this would handle on the Gangyang curbs. Since that road is kinda similar to this one. Also, I ended up lapping somebody, so they are behind me right now. They're trying to take this turn a bit better this time around. Gotta make sure that I still get the checkpoint though. And yeah, once again, cutting through here, the person behind me just following suit. But it doesn't let me in another position. We are just gonna drive through here and into the finish. And this will be the end for the last official race. Just barely 5 minutes long. I mean, was a fun one, a bit more tricky, but we also have another bonus race to go with. And this is Seong Tosen again, another one of my tracks from the Stellar Cup. And yeah, we're gonna go through, I think, 2 or 3 laps here, and yeah, it's just gonna be another race with those good old Neos. And a good old first corner crash, and yeah, this time around I'm involved. Like, this was so bad, the ghost in front of me just had a heart attack and died from it. I have no idea what happened there to that thing. It just looked so odd. But yeah, slightly damaged. Again, raining. As has been the case in almost every race. I guess the first one getting cut short was a blessing. But yeah, I'm trying to keep it together, but the corners... I mean, I tried downshifting so hard I ended up going into neutral. Which really doesn't help anybody. But at least I'm still in 6th position. And this is where it also goes wrong. So the guy behind me honks at me 2 times and then decides to just kill me. I don't know if this was desync or anything, but this already felt like I got screwed over heavily. But yeah, back on the track, got the checkpoint, and let's keep going. 10th position now, so not amazing, but yeah, what can you do sometimes? Things like these sometimes happen. And yeah, I'm just begging for the rain to end. I mean, I might have a better time with my racing tires on the wet asphalt than with dirt tires, but yeah. Rain in this game has a heavy effect, as it likely should have. But I'm definitely looking forward to the end of this. And they are coming on towards the end of the lap here. Just going through the last few bends before taking 2 left turns onto the ring road again. Going past the Tosen trailer dealership right here. Part of the namesake of the track, and yeah, then it's on back to the ring road and going past Pyosan in a moment. Of course, coming up is one of the most tricky corners around the track here. This is one that you can take fairly quickly in a good car. But yeah, the last bit is a bit blind, and it also gets a bit tighter for a moment. So if you're not careful, if you are not familiar with it, you may actually just run yourself off the track or right into a traffic vehicle. Police is also now aware of our actions, so that doesn't really help things either. I at least managed to catch back up with some other people. Becky in front of us is just smoking some stuff, and yeah, that should mean that we can hopefully go for an overtake. Because that's just gonna slow them down quite a lot. Bit of a tight spot, but by the time I go through there, it's already opened up a bit. Psychic Evil going full disco mode for a moment. I missed the braking spot, and yeah, here we are again. And this is the same person that I had the issue with the first lap, so this is actually getting me quite pissed at this point. But yeah, they also get pushed off the track by a truck, and then this happens. Like, that's a really bad way to rejoin. Apparently they missed the checkpoint, and they should have just stayed on the dirt to the right. Now I'm pretty damaged and kind of fallen behind again. Somebody else is catching back up. But yeah, it's the race hasn't really gone my way. And yeah, I hope we eventually get the traffic fixed and dealing with some of the collision stuff, because some of it is far more nasty than it should be. Desyncing all of that is still an ongoing issue, and with the game having a decent focus on the online experience, I hope they eventually dial it in. Right now, when it comes to races like this, it can sometimes devolve into something that's not really all that fun, but overall, if we manage to get this dealt with and fix a few issues, this is gonna be really amazing. And we had a few good races, so it's not like it's always terrible. But this one has definitely been one of the more mixed races. And yeah, I gotta be careful about this. There were a few more cars involved in that part where when I was realizing. And yeah, last few corners here, I think I'm about to overheat as well. Didn't really take too much care about this this, this time around. But yeah, we are gonna carry it home anyways. It was just a 2-lap race, it turns out. But yeah, worked out pretty well. Had a few issues, but still pretty fun in the end. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me for this event race and this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time. I guess I'm gonna bump up the post about removing traffic again, because I think that's a relevant topic after every one of these events. And yeah, gonna see how that goes. Anyways, till next time, have a good one, and bye bye.